lunch. Definitely, it should be heavy, but we'll try our best to see all of you, follow me effectively. So this particular session, I will be helping all of you to understand the meaning of Six Sigma. What is the practical meaning of Six Sigma? And to understand this, we can take any product, any service, and then we'll discuss. So let's see how best we can do it. So I'll teach you some statistics, how the statistics is helping us to understand our capability, right? Often we say process capability, right? And what is this process capability? How statistics helps us to measure our capability. And specification limit and control limit, all of you might be knowing it already. Anyway, I'll be recapping it, right? And then the difference between 3 Sigma process and 6 Sigma process. What kind of capability a 3 Sigma process will have and what kind of capability a 6 Sigma process will have. If you understand, then other Sigmas you will be able to understand on your own. And we will also try to differentiate Sigma and Sigma level. Sigma is standard deviation. One of your team is named as Sigma. That means it means standard deviation. So what is standard deviation? How is it different from Sigma level, right? And Sigma level is our capability. We want more capability. If you want more capability, then your standard deviation should be low. So that also we'll discuss here. And then what will be the benefit, the end result by having the higher capability, how it is beneficial. Now, why statistics is required? Statistics helps us to summarize the information. For example, if you call me to your company and to understand a problem, you may have hundreds of data. You may have thousands of data. Why not? You may have even millions of data. So what do you understand by seeing your data, right? So I probably not only me, even you will also look for only certain characteristics, or we call them statistics. You will either look at average, or you look at standard deviation, or you look at range, you look at the maximum value, you look at the minimum value. Sometimes you will look at, is there any specific problem is occurring again and again. So these are all statistics. So when you really have a huge bank of data and we can't read the data one by one, we want a summary of the data. So statistics helps us to summarize any data, be it 100, be it 1,000, or be it lakhs of data, whatever is the quantity, right? So statistics will help us to summarize with the central value. Central value, there's a lot of importance. Central value can be understood by mean, median, mode, and what all these things we will discuss adequately here in the session. And the same statistics will help us to understand the degree of variation. For example, there are 20 people here in the meeting. Is that all 20 people perform in the same manner? No, all of you will perform differently. For example, I conduct an exam. All of you are going to score different mark. So there is a variation. So who is performing better and who is not performing better and how many are around the average? These kind of information I understand only after assessing the variation in the data. Right? So assessing variation is also important. And to explore possible difference between group. If both are available, central value and variation is available, you can compare any group, how this particular batch of green bulbs are performing with respect to the previous batch we have done. How this machine is producing products with respect to the other machine. How this particular team is performing with respect to other team. For each and everything, I require statistics, particularly the central value and the variation. So in broader sense, there are only 3 applications. Statistics tells you the central value. Statistics tells you the variation. Statistics helps you to understand the difference that may exist between groups or any number of groups. These are the 3 major applications. And now I have listed some number here. Do you understand anything by seeing the number? Some data, isn't it, collected from a process? But look here, there are a lot of statistics written below. These statistics will help us to quickly understand. Since there are 12 numbers, you can even read the number one by one. If I show 100 numbers here, will you be able to read them one by one, and will you be able to understand difficult, right? And see here, n equal to 12. Can somebody tell me what is n equal to 12?
The number of elements.
Number of sample.
Beautiful. So the number of data is 12. That means number of sample is 12. And n asterisk means no missing data. Then no, all 12 samples you have collected as per the plan. So no missing data. That is what n asterisk is. And the mean, what is mean?
Average of this.
Average. Simply add all the value, divide by 12, that will give you the average. Average is one of the central tendency. And then standard error of mean. How is this standard error of mean helpful? The standard error of the mean is calculated by dividing the standard deviation by square root of n. Standard deviation is how much? 2.368. N is 12. So 2.368 divided by square root of 12 will give you standard error of mean. What is the use of standard error of mean? Standard error of mean will help me to understand my confidence interval. For example, when I take a 12 sample, what is the average I got? 3.833. Suppose you take a sample, will you get the same reading which I am seeing as average?
Different will come.
It will be different, but definitely your value will be in a particular interval. If I have sufficient data here, with this kind of mean, with this kind of data, I can predict, or I can predict what kind of value you will get if you repeat my experiment, and that is called confidence interval. That confidence interval can be understood by knowing standard error of mean, which is mean divided by square root of n. You will be able to better appreciate this as we discuss deeper in the statistics. Trimmed mean means rounded off value, right? And then standard deviation. Now my mean is 3.83. Look at the data. Is that all the values are closer to 3.83? Some of them are closer, some of them are far away. This is called a deviation. On an average, what is the deviation? That is called standard deviation. All of you are with me on this? Suppose if all the numbers are same, what will be the average? Average will also be the same number. Am I right? If all the numbers are same, average will be the same number.
Yes.
And then standard deviation will be 0 because every number is equal to average. So when the standard deviation will be 0? When all the numbers are one and same. If all numbers are not one and same, there is a variation. In ideal scenario, we want every product to have the same characteristics, but it never happens. That means there is a variation. Variation is unavoidable. So that is what we are measuring in standard deviation. And what is variance? Square of the standard deviation is variance. I square this, I get this. Sum means you add all the number. Minimum means, what is the minimum here? 1. And quartile 1. What is quartile 1? A point below which 25% of the data is available. For that purpose, you have to arrange the data in increasing order. Find out a point below which 25% of the data is available. In this case, it is 2.25. And median. Median is nothing but the point which will divide your data into exactly 2 half. In this case, it is 3. Exactly below, if you arrange the number in increasing or descending order, then you will find the 3 appearing in the center. That means below 3, you will have some number of data, and exactly same number you will have on the right side. And quartile 3 means is the point below which you have 75% of the data. That means above which you will have 25% of the data. Maximum is 10. Where is it? Yeah, maximum is 10. Range is maximum minus minimum. 10 minus 1, which is 9. Interquartile range, Q3 minus Q1. Q3 is 4.7, Q1 is 2.25. So interquartile range. Mode, which is that frequently occurring? You can see 3 occurring, 3 times or 4 times, and that's called mode. What is the frequency of mode or n for mode? It's 4. Is that everything clear? Yes.
Sir, kindly explain standard error of mean and TR mean. They are given.
TR mean is trimmed mean. I am only rounding off a value.
Okay.
It's only rounding. A standard error is standard deviation divided by square root of n. And we will make you understand each and everything when we actually discuss some problem.
Sir,
or-
we can round TR mean to 4, no? Why we go for 3.5? Because mean is 3.833, no? We can go for 4, no?
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. This is software report, which is from which is from Minitab. So it is rounding to the lowest value, nearest lowest value, and you can do it 4 also. You are right.
Fine.
Right.
SC means standard error mean, no, sir?
SC means standard error of mean. The use of the standard error of mean is it will help you to locate the confidence intervals or confidence limits. Right? Confidence limit can be understood. We will teach you confidence limit, confidence interval slightly, during the analysis phase. So now this is a kind of introduction. Now, I hope all of you can see a